Hey y'all, welcome to Rants Randomness. I'm your host, Luvvie Ajayi Jones, New York Times bestselling author, speaker, and professional troublemaker. And I'm here to share dope conversations that'll give you something to think about, help you smile, feel empowered to do what you feel compelled to do. And sometimes I talk about things that's on my spirit. But before we get into today's episode, I have a request. If you value this show, if you value the guests and their stories, the lessons, the wisdom, and the inspiration we bring to you, if you think of me as your friend in your head, which I am, because you know we go together, all right? I'm just talking to you right now because I need you. And you can do that by supporting what I do and pre-ordering my next book, Professional Troublemaker, The Fear Fighter Manual. I'm so excited because it comes out on March 2nd, 2021, and it is filled with lessons I've learned about my life, about how my journey is a series of me committing to doing the things that scare me over and over again. My life's testimony is committing to doing things that feel bigger than me. And this book is full of these gems. So if you love this show and what I do, what you've learned here, the people that I've had on, if you love my TED Talk, which is called Getting Comfortable with Being Uncomfortable, if you love who I am in this world, you're gonna love this book, Professional Troublemaker. It is currently available for pre-order wherever you get your books. I say shout out to the independent bookstores. You can go to professionaltroublemakerbook.com. Go pre-order your copy and it's epic. If you are listening and the date is November 3rd, 2020, it is election day in the United States. And listen, it's real in the field. We're hoping that we change this last dumpster fire 4 years that we've had with today. Here's what we know. We know that Cheeto Satan is trying to steal the election, that trash ass man. We know he's going to raise hell when he loses. Amen, Jesus. We claiming that. We know his people are going to get violent no matter what. We know a lot, but we don't know how far his desperate ass will go. So we got to be ready to fight it. Voting is really important. And I am assuming that if you're listening to this podcast, you are somebody who has sense, which means you're not going to vote for Habanero Hitler. Okay? And all of this is important. So today, I'm hoping that if you have not early voted yet, that you are prioritizing voting blue. So if you have not voted, get out and vote today and know your rights. Go to vote.org for great information, but here are the basics. Wear a mask, because y'all know COVID is still a thing. Check the ID requirements before you leave your house to make sure that you have what you need to vote. Because what we're seeing is they're trying to find any reason to suppress our votes. Bring your phone with you to vote so you can call the Election Protection Hotline if anything happens. That number is 1-866-687-8683 and record any illegal activities that may occur while you're standing in line. Also remember to keep your place in line and be prepared to stay in line. The lines may get long, but if you're there when the polls close, you're allowed to cast your vote. If you leave the line, you may not get the chance, so keep your place. And do everything you can to cast a regular ballot and fix any problems that you may have at your polling site instead of going home. Like if you make a mistake, ask for a new ballot. And remember that poll workers are volunteers doing their best under difficult circumstances. So also, it might be a stressful day. It probably will be a stressful day. Just try to give grace. It is illegal for anyone to stop you from voting. I want everybody to realize that. If you experience any of the following: intimidation, coercion, threats, false information about voting requirements, people impersonating poll workers, report it to the election protection right away. That number, once again, is 1-866-687-8683. So that's the first thing I want you to do today. Vote. Second, if you've already voted, do what you can to help. You can actually donate to an organization called Pizza to the Polls. Polls.pizza is actually the URL. I didn't even know pizza was a extension. If you see a line at a polling place, you take a picture and you upload it to that site. Or you can donate for people to get pizza delivered. You can drive people to go vote. You can babysit your neighbor's kids so they can go vote. You can do something to help make sure everyone gets a chance to vote. Long lines are a particularly insidious form of voter suppression. Early voting lines have been super long across the country, and research shows that residents of Black neighborhoods waited for 26% longer to vote and were 74% more likely to spend more than half an hour at their polling place. So we can't magically make those lines shorter, but we can pick up the neighbors' kids from school so they can stay in line to vote. Y'all, it is a community effort. Now, the third thing I want you to remember, stay calm, but stay vigilant. Just because it's election day, that doesn't mean we're going to know tonight who the president will be. Election day is when the voting ends. There's a reason we have an extended period of time between election day and the inauguration. It's important that each state count and recount the votes of all eligible voters to make sure that everything is correct. The electors for the Electoral College don't even have to cast their final votes until the middle of December. So patience is critical, y'all. Listen, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of noise. I want you to keep in mind that there will be a period of high uncertainty because of the time it takes to count the ballots. While the time it takes to count ballots may be especially high in this trash election, this challenge of counting has historically been a part of the electoral process frequently. In 2016, it took days for the election to call a winner in a given state. This is not new to our election process. No matter what you're hearing from Cheeto Satans and his raggedy minions, this will take time. It might be slow. We want to get the right results, so that's okay. Here's what we found out. Orange Homeboy has said that he will declare victory evening of November 3rd if he's ahead. Do not let that flip you out. We already expecting it, but that does not mean that's the result. He is going to try to do that because he is a master at lies and trickery. That is misinformation. Expect it. Do not freak out yet. We actually have to stay calm to make sure that we are insisting and being strategic, that the electoral process is happening as it's supposed to, right? That means all the voter suppression, we're going to find out information about it. They're going to say people are cheating left and right on the Dem side when really it's the Republicans that have been doing a whole lot of that. But stay calm. In addition, in battleground states across the country, lawyers are actively trying to get votes thrown out. Listen, we don't have any idea what tricks they might be up to, have up their sleeves. We do know that Mango Mussolini is raising money to try and fight election results into December. So let's expect it so we can be ready to fight it. Be ready to speak up. Be ready to make phone calls. Be ready to do what it takes to make sure every voice is heard. And I hope that if we've learned anything this year, it's that we have to stop being complacent about what we have, and we have to actively take care of ourselves and each other. It's stressful. Anxiety's high, right? And I like to mention that we shouldn't just feel comfortable when somebody else's house is burning. If your neighbor's house is burning, you have to do something to help. You don't just turn your back and shut your blinds, because the smoke might actually come to your house very quickly. The smoke is in our house. Actually, we are on fire. When it comes to voting rights, our houses have been burning for years and years. Once this election season's over, once we get the Trump administration out, once we all bleach our brains of this 4 treacherous years, listen, I am claiming it as it should be. I am claiming a blue win, and that this man is humiliated. My hope is that we start fixing and picking up what's left. And I have to say that local elections matter. This is even beyond the presidency. The people who are running for state representative, for school board, for state's attorney, they have way more control over what happens in our daily lives than the president does. So we have to get involved. At the very least, we need to vote every time there's an election, not just every 4 years. Election day should be a national holiday. We should be able to vote by mail without it being a puzzle for us to fail, without us having to scratch our heads on whether it will be delivered, without wondering whether it will be counted. The system has been designed to keep smart people from voting, to keep us from being engaged. But when we're not voting, the people who are making the decisions on our behalf are not the people who should. Yeah. Voting reform is critical. And I hope once we finish and get out this dusty moment that we can really focus on that. Shout out to Stacey Abrams and her organization, Fair Fight. They're leading the charge against voter suppression in Georgia. And she, along with many others around the country, are working tirelessly to make sure voter registration, ballot access, and voter counting are fair and safe for every eligible voter. You can get involved by checking out fairfight.com or get involved in your community. Make sure you're voting in local elections. Go to a city council meeting. Find out what's happening in your community so that you can help make it better. And with all that being said, the best thing you can also do for yourself this week is to take care of yourself. As we near the end of a completely wild year, a dumpster fire year, I worry that the next couple of months will be the wildest of all. So take care of yourself. Turn off the TV if you need to. Turn off the news. Stop rage scrolling Twitter if you need to. Take a walk, sip some tea. And listen, do not miss your therapy appointments at all. Like crucial. I'm like, therapists should be booked and super busy right now. And finally, I shared this on social, but I want to share this prayer here with you as well. Should you need it today and in the weeks to come, or just any time you need something to soothe your spirit. It's called the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So thank you for listening to Rants Randomness. One quick thing you could do to help new listeners find our show: make sure you're subscribed in your podcast platform of choice. Second, make sure you rate this show and leave a comment with a review. And please share those insights and mic drop moments on social media, and be sure to tag us. We are Rants Randomness on Instagram and Rants Randomness on Twitter. As always, follow me on social media. I'm at Luvvie everywhere. See you on the next episode, and hopefully we got some good news.